This is the first video in the series of Anki tutorials I'm doing to get people from beginner to expert in the realm of Anki. So I'm treating this first video as if you don't know anything about Anki and this is the very first time you're downloading and getting it booted up, okay? So the first thing you want to do is literally just type in Anki download into your Google search or your browser and whatnot, and this is the link you want to go to. There are a lot of copycat Anki services, especially on the Apple Store, and you want to make sure you're not going through those because they are scams and they are not the same thing. So you're going to click Anki, and then go ahead and click download. They have downloads for Windows, Macs, Linux, iPhone. The reason the iPhone is there, again, is like I said, on the iOS store, there's a lot of copycats, and you want to make sure you're getting the official download. Additionally, this is where you will go to get updates. So Anki is constantly improving its algorithm and constantly improving its software. This is where you want to go to get the most updated version. So as you can see, as of today, 25.02 is the most updated version. So you're going to go ahead and click download. While that's downloading, you're going to want to go ahead and go over to AnkiWeb.net. Now, this is a free online platform that allows you to use Anki from whatever desktop browser that you're able to access. And this is important for two things. One, this is going to allow you to sync across platforms between your iPhone, your iPad, and your computer. And then additionally, this will allow you to study, like I said, online. Why is that important? Well, a lot of Anki decks are very media heavy, which makes their memory and their storage capacity very high. And so what this allows you to do is actually have a way to study your material online without having your iPhone or iPad be loaded up with Anki cards, which is definitely common, especially if you're going to use the more popular shared decks. So you're going to want to go ahead and sign up, make a free account, and then we're going to jump back over to the Anki app and take it from there. Here we are in Anki. Your version, when you download this, will not look anything like what I have on the screen right now. I have a lot of bells and whistles and add-ons and a whole bunch of decks here. And we're going to kind of go through that a little bit more as we go through the video series, but just a couple introductory things to be aware of. This is where you click add to add new cards, browse to get in the browser, stats for your cards, synchronizing to sync across your different platforms. And then up here, you've also got your drop downs for your profiles. You can have multiple profiles if you want. If you're trying to import cards from an outside shared deck, if you're trying to export cards, if you're trying to create a backup, edit if you want to undo something you just did. If you want to mess with the view settings a little bit, you can do that as well, as far as zooming in, zooming out, and then tools. So this is a lot of important stuff is in this drop down as far as tools go. I will get into that a little bit more in other videos. And then these other drop downs you should not have, with the exception of help. One thing to note for the help drop down is if you go into about, you can actually see what version you're up to, your what version of Anki you're running, which is actually important when you're starting to consider add-ons as well as big changes when Anki creates a new download. So definitely something just to keep in mind if you need to check that from time to time. Okay, now we're going to go through the process of making our first deck and creating our first cards. So what you're going to want to do is come down here to the bottom and click Create Deck. We're going to call this the demo deck. And for context, just to know that if you put numbers and zeros at the beginning of the deck title, it'll actually move it to the top of the list. And you can kind of see that in the back with some of these decks I have here. So we're going to call this demo deck. All right. And now you can see that it's appeared here. And if we click on it, you can go ahead and see that there's nothing in there. There's no cards, so there's nothing that we can do at this point. So let's go ahead and add our first card. So what we do is go ahead and come up here to the top and click Add. So here we are in the add function for creating new cards. Yours, again, will look a little bit different. I've got some extra add-ons and some bells and whistles up here, but we won't focus on that for right now. Now, as it's set up right now, this is a basic type of card that's going to go into our demo deck. Now, what that means is that we will see the front and the back, and that's it. There are other note types called basic reversed, which I can show you really quickly. And now what this note type allows you to do is learn from what is on the front and what is on the back. So you'll be prompted with both information on the front side of this field and then what's on the back field as well. But let's go back to basic just to start from there. Now, let's say we wanted to study the basics of Spanish and we wanted to know how to say hello. So on the front side, we might say, put our English version of hello. And then on the back, we're going to put hola. All right, and let's see what that looks like in our deck. All right, study now. All right, now we see hello, and we're supposed to think, all right, what does this mean in Spanish? On the back side, it says hola. And now we need to think to ourselves, did we know this? Did we not know it? Did we kind of know it? Now, the general advice that I agree with is that you should really stick between two buttons, which is again and good. Okay, so again being I didn't know this at all, we're going to see this again in 25 minutes, or good, we're going to see this again in a day. Every now and then I'll hit easy if it's just a concept that's just so like easy to remember, as in like my own name, like on that level of not that much of a cognitive load to think of. So for this, let's go ahead and say again. Now, we're not going to wait 25 minutes for this to pop up again, but you get the point. Okay, so that was the absolute basics of Anki, and honestly, at the end of this video, you probably could take advantage of the software and get a lot out of it. But I'm going to start building upon these concepts in the videos to come, and I'm going to show you more and more ways that you can customize these cards and make them a little bit more your own and get the most out of the program. So go ahead, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.